Hbar and Stellar fans, I've got news you need to hear. We're also going to have an XRP warning shared from Ripple. We'll talk price action along with the latest.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
And don't mind the sound, this is a brand new PC. I got to tweak the settings, but don't worry, I'll have it figured out by the next video. And whoa, do we got a lot of talk about Stellar, Hedera, Ripple XRP fans. Lots to cover. But before we get into that, your comments come first because you, the viewer, matter most. T-Boot starts us off and says, yo, my drug dealers don't accept BTC or XRP. Talking about Warren's rant the other day where she went off about how stablecoins are used to do naughty, nefarious things. Come on. When was the last time you used stablecoins to pay your local street pharmacist? Come on. Raise your hands. Come on. I can see through my webcam. I can see out. None of you raised your hands. That's right. Because none of you out there are using stablecoins to pay your street pharmacist. But when was the last time you used cash to pay your street pharmacist? Yeah, come on. Everyone raise your hands. Seriously, Warren went on an absolute tirade yesterday, just ripping on stablecoins and how they're used for just naughty things. She's so out of touch. Toby Worldwide says, yeah, I'll have the nothing burger, hold the happening sauce. Oh, I am absolutely ripped from all the nothing burgers in crypto right now. But big news between Hedera and Stellar. Then big announcement, gotta talk about it, Ripple XRP fans and traditional finance turning a huge 180 when it comes to crypto. But first, Bitcoin sitting at 106,628. Whoa. Bitcoin getting close to all-time highs. Look at the chart, everyone. This is something we need to pay attention to. Why? Because Bitcoin is slowly getting close to the all-time highs, and let's hope it brings the alt with this. ETH 2508, BNB at 648, while Sol's at 167, XP at 234, while Squeeze at 389. My bad on that one. What's going on? Significance of Jamie Dimon's reluctant Bitcoin surrender. That's right. Jamie Dimon was a big hater of BTC and crypto. Listen to this. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon has long been one of BTC's most vicious skeptics. In 2017, he said he would fire any employee who traded Bitcoin for being stupid and called it a fraud. Just last year, he called cryptocurrency a pet rock. This was last year. Now, all of a sudden, JP Morgan customers will be allowed to buy Bitcoin. Why? Because it makes him money. Oh, Klaus can talk again. That's right. And guess what the doc said? He's like, Klaus, look, you need to take a week a little bit lighter this time. Oh, I know I did. I went to see the doc. He's like, bro, you need to pump the brakes just for one more week, heal a little bit more. Damn it. However, the bank would not custody Bitcoin, necessitating a trusted third party, probably Coinbase Prime. Dimon's decision could bring further change. His capitulation could serve as a powerful signal to other holdouts in the traditional finance world. And JP Morgan's massive customer base could bring a new wave of crypto investors. What's interesting about this, Dimon was a big crypto hater, and now he's out there going, yo, hey, my other banking friends, you can make a lot of money by offering crypto services. So who else in the traditional finance world is going to turn a 180 and start offering crypto to their clients? All right. Now, got to give you a little bit of a warning here, okay? There's a little bit of hopium, a little bit of fake pumperoni, a little bit of blowing up smoke up the butt-aroni by some jabronis. Name the TV series that's famous for the word jabroni. There you go. I think I gave you a good clue. Stablecoin bill advances in the U.S. Senate for a big win for crypto. No. The only thing that happened with this vote is it gets to go to the Senate floor to be debated. That's it. It didn't pass the Senate, nothing. It just means that it got enough votes to actually be debated. That is it. Which means what? We still got to get it to pass the actual floor vote, and it has to go past the House. So yeah, we got a ways to go. All right. Hedera, Hbar, Stellar Xlm fans, you ready? This is interesting. Hold on tight. Algo, you got to listen to. I don't know if I got many Algo fans in the house. All right, here we go. Hedera now holds 181.4 million in stablecoins, up 20 million from the same time period last year. It's also jumped 34 million on January 31st, or since January 31st, from Circle's USDC. What's interesting about this? It surpassed Stellar, which holds 180 million in stablecoin value. It's passed Algorand, Kronos, Polkadot. Whoa, whoa, and whoa. A rising volume of stablecoins on chain is typically bullish as it signals increasing user activity. Another catalyst for Hbar is the rise in decentralized exchange volume. DeFi Llama has shown that weekly volume jumped 40% to 64.4 million, bringing the cumulative total to 4.6 billion. Holy crap. Hedera is also becoming a notable player in the real-world asset tokenization space. It recently launched the Asset Tokenization Studio, designed to streamline configuration, issuance, and management of tokenized bonds and stocks. Whoa, okay. So now all of a sudden, you got Hedera passing Stellar, being a leader in the stablecoin. Well, not like the leader overall, but being one of the leaders in stablecoin holders. In addition, Hedera has introduced a stablecoin studio, a consensus service, and the Hedera token service. So, Frankie, I know you're here. Frankie loves Hbar, and I know Frankie's going to comment down below. Frankie, shout out to you, my guy. So, who here is into Stellar, into Hbar, into Hedera, into all that stuff? I want to hear from you. Stellar fans, are you nervous? I mean, the real-world asset tokenization battle is definitely heating up. Now let's get into XRP Ripple news. XRP holders targeted as Ripple officially warns of rising XRP scams. Why is there a rise in XRP fans? Because XRP has been hardcore, hot, spicy, naughty, relevant in the news, right? We've been talking about the case. We've been talking about Brad being dissed by Loomis. We've been talking about the whole Circle bid and all that. So when something is hot and relevant, what happens? The scammers and grifters come out and want to bend you over and screw you for your XRP. The company issued an alert on X, they're talking about Ripple, of an increase in fraudulent schemes targeting XRP holders, especially those tied to fake airdrops and impersonation tactics. No, Stellar is not airdropping any XLM. No, Ripple is not airdropping any XRP. No, Hedera is not airdropping any Hbar. In fact, here is the post from Ripple. All of the things that you see in this video and all my other ones, they're linked in the description below. PSA, uptick in the crypto market equals an uptick in scams. And the worst part about it is, I spend a good amount of time researching articles. Number of articles that I research that are fake is absolutely bonkers and mind-boggling. The worst one I see is the official 100 million XRP giveaway one. I see that all over the place. The Stellar one that I see all over the place is either the Jed McCaleb one or the airdrop one. They're all fake. They're all scams trying to screw you out of your money, specifically your XRP or XLM. They say Ripple will never ask you to send XRP. Brad, Monica, David, Stu, or anyone from Ripple won't either. Avoid clicking suspicious links. Always verify official accounts before engaging. All right, broader look across the market sees what? Bitcoin now at 107,000. Fear and greed at 68. Altcoin season index starting to slide more to BTC dominance. That's not good for us altcoin fans. Volume hovering around $121,000. Now, BTC, like I said, is starting to claw its way back. We're getting closer to the all-time high price. Look at these charts here. Let's do this. Let's go to some candlestick-eronies right now. Look at this. We're slowly getting to the all-time high action, but the alts aren't following suit. That's why you're seeing the BTC dominance slide more to that side of the scale. Now, we are seeing institutional money flow back in, but it's of the BTC dominant variance. What you can see here is, let's close this out real quick. Let's compare this to XRP, and you're going to see what? Watch what happens when we go to the month. That's right. BTC is starting to knock on the door. Now you can see though the volume for BTC is starting to decline and we're starting to go into the Memorial Day volume lull. And I know what you're thinking, bro, but crypto isn't like the traditional stock markets. We stay open 365 days, 24/7. Yeah, you're right. But the problem is and what we've seen is that the crypto markets are starting to follow the patterns of the traditional markets. Where when we have these holidays, a lot of these players, they just take those days off. So now you're starting to see the volume of these things starting to pull back on down. So BTC volume is down. XRP's volume is starting to go down. Look at XRP's volume, down 25% to 2.9 billion. We're in the friend zone, right? So we're in the friend zone for XRP. BTC now is starting to get into the what, everyone? The all-time high zone. So we're starting to see the alts do something a little different where BTC is starting to roar. That's not good for an alt fan. I'm definitely an altcoin fan. Now, going back to XRP, what are we noticing? Well, we're noticing the volume is going down, the price action's getting a little stagnant, and what? We're expecting low volume here over the next week as we start getting into the Memorial Day weekend. I'm looking at volume targets around 1.7 billion, and honestly, if we can hold north of 230 price-wise through the Memorial Day weekend, I will be happy. Why? Because you're going to have a lot of players in both traditional finance and the retail markets, right? So institutional retail players, honestly, not looking at charts for a while through Memorial Day. Why? Because let's be real here. When XRP is at 230, this isn't like a good price to buy because you know you could snipe way cheaper than this. And it's not a good price to sell because you know you could sell for way more than this. So we're in the friend zone right now. The volume is indicative of that along with the price action. So let's hope something juicy happens the rest of this week. But let's be real here. I doubt much is going to happen juiciness wise. Why? Well, because there's probably not going to be much pumperoni. Probably not going to be much dumperoni. We're probably just going to be dealing with a lot of what? A lot of jabroni. Name the TV show down below. Let's see if you can do it. Now, fingers crossed that we get something juicy over the next several days, but I'm not holding my breath because I would probably choke or suffocate or whatever the hell that phrase would be. It's just BTC is pumping. For the reason, safe haven play, right? Players are looking at this going, yo, there's a lot going on. We still got the trade action going on where we don't have full resolution. So players are going into safe haven assets. You're still seeing stablecoins go crazy bonkers. You're still seeing gold look healthy. So the safe haven play is still on. BTC dominance is growing. A lot of the alts are doing the same thing where they're back in the friend zone. And the stablecoin bill is, they're going to be debating it. So it hasn't passed and we're all just kind of sitting here going, I don't know. Yeah, that's seriously where we're at, jabronis. Just throwing it out there. Frank's involved in the show, by the way. There's another clue for you. By the way, I'm recording this video on my new Wavo PC. I haven't ordered the 4K camera because I wanted to make sure that the PC worked first. But I love it because it is freaky fast. Little Ryzen 9 action processor. Ooh, baby, I love it. So, yeah. Let's just kind of be ready, though, because honestly, there may be some buying opportunities this weekend, because if volume goes super low, and honestly, you know how that goes, and if there is really no juicy news going on, you know how players are in the market, they got itchy trigger sell fingers, and hey, could always be blessed, though, with something good, too. So just keep your eyes and ears open, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out, because you know the deal. I'm going to be bringing the news, good, bad, happy, or sad, even through the holiday weekend. So choo-choo what? Choo-choo bitches, girlfriend.